The throne room of the Korthax Empire stretched before Raymond like a cathedral of arrogance. Crystalline pillars rose toward a vaulted ceiling that displayed the conquered worlds spinning in holographic splendor. Emperor Zoltha sat upon his floating throne, his 4 arms draped casually over the armrests, his segmented body adorned with the stolen treasures of a dozen species. "A human," the Emperor said, his mandibles clicking in what passed for laughter among his kind. "You dare enter my palace with such audacity?" Raymond stood perfectly still, his weathered face betraying nothing. The scars on his neck, remnants of a colony raid 15 years prior, caught the light. Behind him, Janet adjusted her stance, her hand hovering near the plasma cutter on her belt. She'd insisted on accompanying him, despite his protests. "We're here for the ship," Raymond said, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. "The Defiant Dawn, you took it from the wreckage at Proxima Station." Zolthar's laughter echoed through the hall, joined by the chittering of his courtiers. "The vessel you speak of sits in my royal hangar, human, a trophy from your species' pathetic resistance." He leaned forward, his compound eyes glittering. "But I am feeling generous today. I shall make you a wager." Janae tensed, but Raymond remained motionless. "If you can start that ship, if it truly recognizes you as its master, then you may leave with it." The Emperor's mandibles spread wide. "But when you fail, you will join my collection of exotic slaves." "Both of you," agreed, Raymond said without hesitation. "Raymond," Janet began, but he silenced her with a glance. The procession to the hangar was a parade of mockery. Courtiers from species across the galaxy lined the corridors, their varied forms united in their derision of the human prisoners. Janet walked close to Raymond, her jaw clenched. "You better know what you're doing," she whispered. "I do," he replied softly. "Trust me." The royal hangar was a monument to conquest. Ships of every design imaginable sat in orderly rows, from sleek Valkyrie scouts to massive Dorvian battlecruisers. At the far end, isolated like a curiosity in a museum, sat the Defiant Dawn. Janet's breath caught. The ship was small by modern standards, a human corvette from the early colonial days. Its hull was scorched and dented, patches of repair work visible across its surface. But to her eyes, it was beautiful. "Behold your prize," Zoltha announced, gesturing with 2 arms. "A relic from humanity's foolish expansion. My engineers have studied it extensively. The security protocols are ... quaint. Biometric locks, quantum encryption, neural interface requirements." He clicked his mandibles in amusement. "All quite useless now, of course. The ship is dead." Raymond walked forward slowly, his boots echoing on the hangar floor. He approached the boarding ramp, which hung open like a broken jaw. Janet followed, her heart pounding. "The ship recognizes only its captain and designated crew," Zoltha continued, clearly enjoying himself. "And according to our records, Captain Marcus Webb perished at Proxima Station. So unless you are a ghost, human—" "I'm not the captain," Raymond said, placing his hand on the hull. The metal was cold beneath his palm. "I was the engineer, 3rd class, lowest rank on the ship." He walked up the ramp. The interior was dark, stripped of power. Emergency lights cast faint red glows along the corridors. Janet stayed close, watching Raymond navigate the familiar passages with practiced ease. They reached the bridge. The command chair sat empty, controls dark and lifeless. Zoltha had followed with his entourage, filling the cramped space with bodies and the stench of various alien physiologies. The Emperor demanded, "Start your ship, human." Raymond moved past the captain's chair to a maintenance panel in the corner. He knelt, pulling it open with hands that remembered every bolt and seal. Inside lay the emergency neural interface, a backup system few knew existed. "The Defiant Dawn was special," Raymond said, his fingers working quickly. "Built during the Frontier Wars, when Earth couldn't afford to waste anything, including personnel." He pulled out a series of optical cables. Every member of the crew was cross-trained. Every member had neural interface authorization. Because out in the black, you couldn't afford to have your ship die because the captain took a laser bolt. Janet saw understanding dawn on the Emperor's face till late. Raymond pressed the interface node against his temple. For a moment, nothing happened. Then light flooded through the ship. Panels illuminated, screens flickered to life, and a deep thrumming filled the air as reactors that had lain dormant for years surged back to power. "Good morning, Engineer Webb," a synthetic voice announced through the speakers. "Welcome back." "Not Webb," Raymond corrected gently. "Webb was my brother. I'm Raymond Webb. Marcus left me his ship in his will." Identity confirmed. "Captain Raymond Webb, Defiant Dawn. All systems responding." The Emperor's expression shifted from amusement to fury to something approaching fear. Around the bridge, weapon systems activated with audible clicks. Targeting lasers painted every alien present with red dots. "Here's something about humans your intelligence missed," Raymond said, standing slowly. His voice had gone cold, harder than the hole beneath their feet. "We don't leave our own behind, and we don't forget our debts." Janet moved to the tactical station, her fingers dancing across controls that welcomed her touch. "Weapons hot, Captain. Say the word, you would start a war." Zoltha hissed. "Over one small ship, wars have started over less," Raymond replied. "But no, we're just leaving. With our ship." As agreed, he turned to face the Emperor fully. "Unless you'd like to reconsider our wager." The silence stretched. Finally Zoltha gestured sharply with one arm. "Leave. Take your pathetic vessel and go." "Thank you for your generosity, Your Majesty," Raymond said with exaggerated politeness. "Janet, clear the ship of our guests." The aliens filed out Zoltha last. At the ramp he paused. "This changes nothing. Human, your species is still prey." "Maybe," Raymond acknowledged. "But we're prey with long memories and longer grudges. Something to remember." As the defiant dawn lifted from the hangar, Janet looked over at Raymond. His hands were steady on the controls, but she could see the tension in his shoulders finally beginning to release. "That was insane," she said. "That was necessary," he corrected. "Marcus died getting colonists to safety with this ship. I wasn't letting it become some tyrant's trophy." The ship broke atmosphere, stars spreading before them like scattered diamonds. Raymond set course for human space, for home. "Besides," he added with the faintest smile, "somebody had to show them that humans don't give up. Not our ships, not our people, not our pride." Janet laughed, the sound bright in the recycled air of the bridge. "Humanity, yeah, exactly," Raymond said. "Now let's go home."